if you'd like to make your 2023 the best year yet, we have some tips for you this morning, and we're joined by somebody really, really special. And we're talking about a career of celebrating all the little awesome moments in life, both big and small. Neil Pasricha is joining us now with your new book. Now, we're going to talk about this one. It's called Our Book of Awesome.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thanks, Jess. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So we'll get into the tips in just a second, but I want to start off with, the book is called Our Book of Awesome. You're known for the best-selling book, The Book of Awesome, but why has it changed to Our?
Well, because according to the Harvard Adult Development Study, the number one thing that drives our happiness over the long run is community. It's connection. It's social connection with our friends and our family. So I've got voices folded into this book, stories, suggestions, and comments from people around the world to make it a cacophony of awesome, Jess. So there's awesome voices around the world, over 500 new awesome things.
I love it. So let's get into the tips for having an awesome year. Tip number one, and this is something I really leaned into throughout the pandemic, is going outside.
Sounds so obvious, but right now we're experiencing NDD. I call it nature deficit disorder. You know, 57% of kids these days, they don't get outside. They don't get outside. We're spending less than 7% of our days outside. You add that up over a 7-day week, it means half a day outside. What am I saying? I mean, get outside. What's the benefit of getting outside? You know, trees release a chemical called phytoncides. When you breathe in that chemical, it lowers your adrenaline, it lowers your cortisol. You de-stress just by walking around in nature. Know where the closest hiking trail is, know where the closest park is, know where the closest forest is, and take a 50-minute break in the middle of your day just to get outside.
I love it. I've done this with a friend of mine. We do our winter walks, we get geared up, and if it's 15 minutes or an hour, we make it work.
And if you go outside for a minute, you end up staying out a little longer, right?
I love it so much. All right, next up we have the bookworm in me loves this one. So especially if you are kind of gifted a book this year, it's reading fiction.
Reading fiction, not Our Book of Awesome, which is nonfiction. It's because the annual review of psychology says that only reading fiction opens up the mirror neurons in your brain responsible for empathy, compassion, understanding. Those are very hard skills to build. You can't ship yourself off to an empathy course, but reading fiction opens up that part of your brain. Despite that, according to the Time Use study, 57% of Americans, I don't have the data on Canada, but 57% of Americans read 0 books for pleasure last year. I say start with a thin one, start with a skinny one, start with Animal Farm, Old Man in the Sea. Those are 100 pages or less. Pick up a book of fiction and start even just a couple pages a day.
It all helps. Now, I want to go with, you have a gratitude practice. It's called Rose, Rose, Thorn, Bud.
Yes.
What does that mean and how does it work?
Okay, it means at the dinner table when you're around your family and, you know, someone's upset, someone's angry, you bang your fist on the dinner table and you say, hey, everybody, it's a happiness intervention. I want to play a game. It's called Rose, Rose, Thorn, Bud. Everybody goes around the table and says a rose from their day, a highlight, something that went well. We put the Christmas tree out on the curb now. We took the lights down. We turned off the camera. Whatever. If you're getting, you know, sick of that kind of stuff, that could be your rose. Everybody says another one, a thorn, something that didn't go well. You got to get off your chest. You got to listen. And a bud, B-U-D, something you're looking forward to. A simple gratitude game that makes everybody feel a little happy.
Air those grievances. Now, before we came on camera, I was saying you have it in the beginning of the book here.
Yes.
So you have to celebrate those small things. And some of these moments, for me, it was carrying the ice cube tray from the sink to the freezer without spilling. I can't tell you how much joy that brings me, but it's the littlest thing, but it has such a great impact. Why are some of these little things so important to celebrate?
We think of our lives as these big punctuated moments, the wide eyes on graduation days, the father-daughter dances at weddings, the healthy baby screeching in delivery rooms. But you know what, Jess? That only adds up to like 10 days of your life. If you want to live a happier life, you have to notice and celebrate the small, simple pleasures. Nailing the timing on the avocado, texting your husband to bring down the laundry, carrying the ice cube tray from the sink to the freezer without spilling. That is what makes life truly awesome.
Well, Neil, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, a reminder, Neil's newest book, Our Book of Awesome, is out now. Thank you, Neil. All right.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.